Shout out to TLP Sports Club, baby. Shout out BWB. BWB. Bandwagon Buffs. BWB, baby. Shout out to Bandwagon Buffs. Shout out to TLP Sports, man. Let's go.
TLP Sports, man.
Buff Nation, what up? BWB, my bandwagon Buffs. What it is, what it does, and what it's gonna be. It's your man's Harry Billion. Welcome to the Liberian Perspective. Family, do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. Make sure to give me the thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you can get the videos as soon as it uploads to YouTube. Look at the bottom of your screen and cop your BWB gear and rep the most educated, well-informed, least delusional fan base in all, and I mean all, of college football. Don't buy the hype. Buy BWB. Bandwagon Buffs. All right, family, I gotta go ahead and get into this video real quick, so that's all the business I got. You know what time it is. Let's work. What's going on, Buff family? What's going on, BWB family? Man, you guys are absolutely awesome. I want to say thank you to everyone that reached out to me. I thank everyone for being so supportive with the situation that I'm dealing with. Got some great news. So the first game, I got the plane ticket. I do have an angel investor for the ticket for the TCU game. I'm so appreciative. They haven't really given me the rights to say their name. Hey guys, listen, if you want me to thank you on the show, if you don't mind me saying your name to thank you on one of these videos, please send me an email, hottipsfortlpsports@gmail.com. That's hottipsfortlpsports@gmail.com. Drop me an email and say, yo, Harry B, it's okay. You can go ahead and thank me on the show. If you want to remain anonymous, that's fine. But I want to thank everyone. Somebody did reach out to me and provided some support for a hotel, and somebody's helping me to get a rental car. So man, God is great. So grateful. I will be at that first game and I will bring you some fire content. I promise. This community is very supportive and I want to continue to do what I got to do. But today I want to get back to work, guys. It is time for us to get back to this business of Colorado football. Coach Prime, his team, the drama, everything surrounding this team. Let's get to work, guys. I saw a tweet from Mattis Cop and I wanted to deal with it real quick. I wanted to discuss it. So let's get straight to it. When the exodus happened, or when Coach Prime came into that general discussion room and started to have that discussion about the Louis bag and giving his introductory speech and letting the kids know, in essence, my job here is to try to get rid of you. Your job is to try to stay. All right. But I'm going to give you an opportunity to earn your job. If you are a dog, I want you to stay, but I got other dogs coming. So just understand that. Jump in that transfer portal. If you're not about this life, do what you got to do. And then we had the whole spring game situation. And then we had that mass exodus. Now, when we have that mass exodus, I was a little concerned because there were a few students that had already transferred once. There are NCAA transfer rules. The transfer portal is sexy. The transfer portal is an opportunity for these student athletes to find greener pastures, to find a better situation for themselves. But there are rules to this. You have to understand the rules. For those of you who are new to this channel, I have multiple videos on the NIL deal, the transfer portal. I made videos for that. It's on the page. Check out those videos about the rules of the transfer portal. The fact that some of these kids had already transferred, and I knew that some of these students were going to have some issues. You can't just jump up and just transfer. That's why the NCAA have the rules, so these kids don't just transfer whenever they feel some kind of ill, because if the coach is yelling at you, you don't like the coach yelling at you, you can just go. That's why they got these rules there, so you're not just like some disgruntled or some grumpy, bratty kid that don't want that hard-nosed coaching. The kids nowadays are not the same the way most of us grew up. Some of these kids are lazy, believe it or not. I'm not saying all of these kids were lazy, they couldn't play, but some of these kids are lazy. If you give them the opportunity to bounce around, they will bounce around, so that's why you have the rules there. Let's go ahead and see what Maddox was talking about. This is Maddox Cop. Let's go to his tweet, see what he was talking about, and then we'll come back for the commentary or for the Liberian perspective at Maddox_Cop. Incredibly disappointed in the NCAA for denying my waiver today. Another case of the NCAA trying to save face and not caring about student athletes. For 3 reasons. Number 1, I have learning disabilities and accommodations evaluations were not made available to me at Colorado. My academic counselor left mid-year, as did my head coach. I struggled alone. My decision to transfer was made a day before the NCAA eliminated the no participation opportunity for immediate eligibility. I could not come back from this. Number 3, Coach Prime made it very clear that holdovers from the previous team were not welcome and it was best to leave, especially especially as I am a quarterback, the same position as his son who I train with in the offseason. No disrespect to CU or to coach. Just go watch the intro team meeting that got 30 million views. I'm in the front row. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this. Let me set this up a little bit for you guys so you can understand what's possibly going on here. So when Coach Prime came in, when he gave that infamous speech that Maddox is talking about that got the 30 million views, a lot of those kids transferred with the mindset of being able to play right away. When you transfer, before there was a rule where if you transfer, you had to skip a year. But because of the new rules, you should be able to play right away. Like I said, that's a pretty good video that I made. Go watch that video. You'll know what I'm talking about. So if you look right here where my cursor is, you see Miami U quarterback, Elite 11 alum. Right there, he transferred to Miami. He was under the impression that he was going to be able to play right away. So he filed for his waiver. The waiver process is basically trying to convince the NCAA so that they can waive you so that you can play right away. You don't have to sit out a whole year, because if you transfer before, if you already have a transfer under your belt, you're going to have to prove some type of medical disability or some type of disability that caused you not to be able to play at the university that you are transferring from. So this is what's happening here. So his waiver would have had some type of disability on there so he can use those things to say, I couldn't play because X, Y, and Z happened. I need you to give me a waiver to make it okay for me to play right away with the new school that I'm at, which would be Miami U. So those are the things that he would have to outline in the waiver so that the NCAA would give him the opportunity to play right away. So it's not like he doesn't have a team. He's at the team. He's with the university, but his eligibility to play right away is right now, according to what he's writing here, is denied because they don't believe that his disability or whatever he had to prove to them is legit to waive him to play right away. So basically, he's at the school, he's still a player, but he's going to have to watch the team this year. The 2023 season, he's going to have to sit out and watch and then continue his football career in 2024. I don't know what year he is in college, and if he's losing a year, he's been trying to work out this waiver. And now that the waiver has finally been denied, I don't even know if he had an opportunity to appeal the waiver, and he's going through the appeal system. This is his final ditch effort to get some type of public opinion involved in his situation. Maybe he just finally got his resolution from the NCAA about the waiver, and now he has the opportunity to put it out there in public, maybe get some public opinion and see where that goes from there. So that is the technical part of it. Now let's get into the other parts of this conversation. I know about the learning disability situation. If you have a child that has some type of condition, the system has ways to make sure that that child has the accommodations that they need. The parents and the students, they will talk to the administration, whoever it is, they will provide those accommodations. I'm not sure what his situation is. This is sensitive information. Whatever accommodations were not provided, this is something that the school and him and his parents or guardians could have taken care of. Because I'm very familiar with this situation, these people are very, very particular when it comes to this. They don't play around with this stuff. They will call your house. They will make sure you have all of the accommodations that you need. If you don't, you can go to the school, you can ask questions. But again, I don't know what the situation is. He's not really providing the details. I don't want him to put his information out there, but somebody dropped the ball. I don't know who dropped the ball. It could be on both parties. I don't know, but it's not normal and it's not usual that the school, with all of the I's and T's and everything that they got to cross and dots and all of those things, they would just drop the ball on somebody with the disabilities that have made it known that I have learning disabilities and I need these accommodations. You have to follow up. You have to do certain things. Did he do those things and the school still says, well, we're not going to provide those accommodations? We don't know the details here. My academic counselor left mid-year, as did my head coach. When the academic counselor leaves, you are provided with another counselor. The school doesn't just say, okay, your academic counselor is gone and we can't help you. I'm sorry, they left. That is it. And then he also says, as did my coach. Just like the coach left, another coach was put into that place, which was Coach Prime. And then he said, I struggled alone. I'm not against this kid. This is starting to read a little weird. If I was just to put my neutral hat on and just read this straight up, because I'm a Coach Prime guy, this is an outcry. This is a public outcry for something other than football. These things happen all the time. The school will provide you a new academic counselor, and then you had teammates on your team. How are you struggling alone? Were there no one on that team that you can confide in? The school has a system. This is a university. This is not some little junior college in the corner somewhere that is being funded by somebody's dad. This is not that. This is a major university with offices. If something like this happened where you lose your academic counselor, all you have to do is just go back to that office and get another academic counselor. It's not unusual for academic counselors to leave or for head coaches to be replaced. Now, saying you're struggling alone, that little statement right there, it kind of puts me in the mind frame of where Maddox is trying to take this. You have help. You have a whole room full of teammates that can help you. Your parents and everyone else are your guidance. Those people are there to help you. The university is there for your accommodations. I know this personally. Putting it out there saying I struggled alone makes it feels weird to me. I'm not saying you didn't struggle alone, and I don't want to start saying you didn't feel some kind of way personally. I don't have the right to say any of that to you, and you probably went through a lot. I want to be empathetic here. I don't want to just start saying, oh, this guy didn't go through anything. You didn't necessarily have to struggle alone when you have a room full of people, especially if you are the quarterback of the team. You're the leader of the team. Depending on where your pecking order was, when you step onto that field, you are their leader. Each quarterback, whether it's first, second, or third string, is considered the leader when they step behind the line to take that snap. If you build relationship with the people that you're playing with, you don't necessarily have to struggle alone as far as being on a team. I can't tell this kid he didn't struggle or nothing went on. That's not my call. Number 2, we have my decision to transfer was made a day before the NCAA eliminated the no participation opportunity for immediate eligibility. I could not come back from this. I'm not sure if you guys remember the video that I made about the rules where the NCAA all of a sudden they're stepping in and they're changing a lot of stuff. The participation rules, the goalpost started to move when Coach Prime started killing it. Coaches started complaining and the rules started to change. It's not just going to affect Coach Prime and his ability to coach. It's going to affect these young players. It's going to affect these young men and these young student athletes, not just men, but all student athletes. If you're thinking you're hurting one person, you're wrong. You're hurting a lot of people. When you make rules, you make laws, NCAA, it's going to affect everyone. Number 3, Coach Prime made it very clear that holdovers from the previous team were not welcome and it was best to leave. Maddox, I really feel for what you're going through, but Coach Prime in that meeting was challenging you. Coach Prime challenged everyone. You're an athlete, you're a quarterback, you're supposed to be the leader of the team. You have to understand what that means. You have to be the toughest mind on that field. If you falter, everyone around you falters. You're the leader, you're the general. You are the one that's leading your men on that field. If your mindset is not as strong as the guys on the field or even stronger, then you, my friend, cannot lead those group of men. Just like in the Army, you have to make those tough decisions. You're making those decisions to put the ball in certain places that the other DBs can get it. You're making very tough decisions and you are a leader of men. If Coach Prime comes in and he says, I'm here to make sure that you leave and your job is to make sure that I don't make you leave, what are you supposed to do at that point? I don't know that Coach Prime says you're not welcome. You're skating on thin ice on this one because we have 10 scholarship players that still remain on that team. And Coach Prime did not kick everyone out of that room. He said it plain and clear. Jump in that transfer portal because I got dogs coming, and if you're not a dog, then it's best for you to jump into that transfer portal. Think about it. If you're supposed to be amongst the toughest people on that team or the toughest players on that team because you are your position, like you said, you are a quarterback, would it not make sense that Coach Prime has to understand who is tough and who's not? This is a dog-eat-dog world. It's either going to be me or it's going to be you. As you can tell, the other 2 coaches are no longer there. Coaches get fired fast. The students don't get fired. The players don't get fired, but coaches get fired. Coaches are being graded on wins and losses, not on good effort. A coach has to make sure that the team he puts on the field is the best team and can compete with anybody that's on that field. So when a coach comes in, he has to make sure that the mental toughness, the grittiness of student that's on that field can match the other team. If you put a bunch of kids on that field that do not have the same mental grit and the same mental toughness and think that they can win and play and win against that other team, they are going to lose 11 games. And I'm sure a lot of y'all can play football. There is a really big percentage of winning and losing that has to do with your mental toughness. You guys are at a Power 5 university. You have come through Pee-wee, you've come through middle school, you've come through high school, you've come through all of the different football things that you have done in America or wherever you are from. You made it through the rest of all of those players that you competed against, and you were recruited to come to this university. You know what that means? You know how to play football. So this has nothing nothing to do with your ability to play football. You know how to play football, not about whether you know how to play football or not. It has more to do with your mental ability, your grit. That's what Coach Prime was testing in that room. He gave everyone a chance to prove it, whether they were going to stay on the team or not. If you jumped into that transfer portal right away and you didn't even stay to give yourself a chance to see if you can become one of the backups or maybe even take Shador's job, which I doubt that you were going to be able to take Shador's job. Shador was coming in as a starter because he's already been a champion multiple times over. State champions, conference champion. He's going to championship games. There was no way that you are starting over a 2 or 3 times state champion, 2 times conference champion from Jackson State. There's no way you're starting over that guy. He's going to be playing the backup role. It didn't mean that you can't compete to be the backup for Shador. If you left before you even gave yourself an opportunity to see whether Coach Prime was going to like your style of play, then how can you blame Coach Prime for saying, I'm looking for mental toughness, I'm looking for dogs? That's not on Coach Prime. You cannot put that on him. Maddox, wherever you end up, understand that somebody has to, at a certain point, challenge you mentally, your grit, your toughness. Somebody has to challenge you at a certain point. There are coaches that have different styles. Coach Prime's style is hard-nosed, old-school style. I'm going to challenge you mentally. I'm going to challenge your toughness. I'm going to call you out. Are you a dog or are you not? Can you play or can you not play? If somebody step in front of your face and say, I'm about to get you, especially when that defense is doing it every single game that you play, that's what they're doing. The defense on the other team is telling you that you're not tough enough, and they're going to prove it to you every game, and they proved it 11 times. You know, I really wish Maddox and his guardians or his parents well. I want these children to succeed. These are kids, man. Okay, these are kids in college. A lot of us that are talking about this stuff, we are much older. We've been out of college for years and years and years. I'm not out here to demonize these young kids trying to navigate their life. I just know that you got to be tough in this world. The world is a mean place. When athletics, when the cocoon, when the little box of organized sports is over, when you now have to depend on your own to go to the gym and get your body in shape, you have to find a rec league that you want to play for so you can continue to play sports. When you have to do those things yourself, it's real out here. It gets real very quick. So you have to be mentally tough. Coach Prime is trying to navigate and try to guide these young people so that they can understand that it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. It's not pretty. It's real. Life comes at you fast. Things happen, okay? Things happen. The family that you once trusted, sometimes you can't trust them anymore. The family that you once have, sometimes you don't have them anymore. It comes at you fast. You got to be prepared. Nobody should pamper these kids. Nobody should pacify these kids. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Maddox is wrong. I'm just saying that somebody at some point in your life, they should do you a favor and they should be tough on you to let you know how real life is. And if nobody has done you that favor to open up the curtain to show you how tough life is, then people around you are really doing you a disservice. I'm telling you. But I wish Maddox and his family well, and I wish the rest of those kids that have to deal with the transfer and the waivers, I hope that they get their waivers so that they can play. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. I'm going to leave it right there. You know who I am. I'm Harry B. And that right there was the Liberian Perspective. That's TLP Sports Club. Brah.